Nasara, those Americans, the Army, the General Petraeus, them with all them girlfriends, and that's those. Right, they try to position. The Day Ali Kitab. But Ali Kitab, the Khatam al Haramain is the job of Khatam al Haramain, not Ali Kitab. Right. They got stuff all backwards. What do you mean? Anyway, we would try to make sense of all of this stuff in a nice way, but we have to, bring these things out. Those are the things that we're going to be talking about, but not in a grotesque, absurd way. Negro jealousies. Personally selected part to play. When you select the part you're going to play in life, you have nothing to complain about because you selected, I want to play Shakespeare, I want to play whatever they did. Okay, you just selected the part, right? You said that's right, okay. We selected this part. This is a part that we always wanted to play. We wanted to be a good role model for Negroes in the beginning and for humanity in the final stage. But we want to be where our people are proud of what we do. Not proud of us because people turn on you just like that. You still got to like the people, although they cut your throat. That's the way. Remember what, not that we going along with Jesus, but Lord forgive them. Why? They know not what they do. They don't know what they're doing. Now that's what Esau is said to have said. But I mean, anyway. Okay, social, religious, historical, commemorative of this era, 1980 to 2022. Political, economics. Why no one that cares offers ever, I don't want to talk about care, but we will talk about them because remember, all of these people that had this stuff, they had a shot, but they refused to talk to us. And we showed it on TV to everybody. So now they're saying care is crooked. Niharawad is a crook. Well, we said that they don't, maybe not following the Sunnah, not even talking to us. Right? Okay. They don't have, what are they going to say? He's just bad. Well, you should have listened. It ain't no news that you didn't know. We didn't told you 1,000 times. Okay, why no one that cares office ever spoke out on behavior after speaking out on at least 5 times out there talking about care. Care wouldn't even answer the phone in California. And you could see the people, all the people that care. Half of them had jerry curls, not jerry curls because that's what Negroes wear, but they didn't have a look of piety, you know what I mean? Like, and there was a lot of different people in care, not that they all had to be Muslims, but it don't make no difference when they're not listening. They're not listening. I told the people, remember that meeting out there and what we had a few years back? Yeah, out there in Sterling. We went out to Sterling and some of the people was there. Those same people who was there, the big shots, they invited me in 2007 they told me, we want you to be our leader. They had a big meeting in California, had a big show out there. And all of them was all the leadership. And this guy came specially from headquarters. They had Musa Siddiqui coming to speak that afternoon. I'm telling you, I'm in the office with all of them. And they want me to be their chief. It's 2007. I said, I'm not going to do that because it was just a trap. You know what I mean? I said, no, we ain't going for that. Because they think everybody wants to be a big chief. They want to be. So if we offer you the chiefhood, then you ought to be glad. And all of us said, no, 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 no. Well, what I told them was that I put too much heat on y'all and y'all couldn't stand it, you know, which is true. In 2007, we're getting ready to stick right in the heat. And we're getting ready to go through a long period of standardized heat. You know what I mean? There would be too much for them. And that was the reason we didn't do it, because they wasn't prepared. I mean, and they was all there. In fact, they moved the meeting out to, they thought I'd be comfortable out at the big Shia center there in San Jose. They moved it out there. And the Shias was right along with them. So all that, Imam Musa, we need you. Shoot. Y'all think I'm crazy? Y'all must, of course I didn't say that, but it sounded like we thought that's what I meant. I got this a note. My history, my contact with others is of a special nature. It's of the special nature because of the special historical process. That long historical process is what's made this what it is. Okay, and I'll just say this is deja vu, develop a style of opposition, and the style. Okay, that. Sustenance style. I'm not going to talk about the childlike behavior of Abdul Malik, Mukhtar, Hashim, and all those people. But those people, I used to refer to them as high school Negroes. Now I refer to them as elementary school Negroes because they're staying in the same place and we're moving ahead. That means, just as an association, what they was doing then was like high school. You know, when people play high school games, popularity contests, I get more speaking engagements than you, more people like me than you, I'm more popular than you. Well, you know, one guy, a famous guy, was talking about one of them famous white singers, Margaret, something like that. I can't think of it. The white cowboy hat. He's talking about when he was in high school. He wasn't in the main clique. The main clique is one girl in that he just was in love with her. He wished he could have, you know, but he went away, came back 15 years later, and he's famous. And this girl was appointed to take him around or something like that. And he was saying, I was so happy that I didn't meet that lady. You know what I mean? And he was so happy because, see, he was in not the slow crew, but the not, you know, in every school, they got the in crowd. And everybody's the in crowd. Now, when you study in crowds, a lot of people is in the in crowd in high school, That might be their famous period.
I stumbled upon my senior year yearbook,
Right.
and I was looking through it, and I was like, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's commonly what happens. The people that are very, like a lot of people you run into, they're always talking about when we was in high school, when I was on the football team, when I did this. That was their period. And a lot of the slow growers, late bloomers, those are the people that develop, they get maturity, they develop, you know. But a lot of the kids that they might be big and strong at that time and they outgrew everybody else and they could seem like they had the world at their hand, that was at the high school. And it's not making fun of those people, but high school Negroes, their mentality, all of them, right down the street there, people at my house, they're at best, then I call them elementary school Negroes now. But they're not even high school. They're not, no, I'm sorry. They're losing Hashim and Abdul Malik and all of them people. They the government was holding, they were moving to become, like I was telling Abdul Malik, man, instead of talking like Malcolm, why don't you try to just be like him? Just do the stuff that you got it covered now. You're talking like that, just all it is now. They didn't dig that. They know I like pretending. If they could pretend to be Malcolm, it's the same thing to them as being. And it was never like that to me. Hold it. No, 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 no. That was the difference. To them, if you look like it, if people accept you as that type, then that's what you are. That ain't the way it is. Because when you get hit with anything, you're going to have, if they think you a Malcolm type, you're supposed to respond like that. And if you just talk like that, can't respond like, because that's not where you are. That's why our leaders shatter and crumble all the time, because they select our leaders. They select our leaders and then they pump them up and they put them in positions. They hand them positions, right? And when they get ready to pull the cord, zoop, that's what they thought they would do with us. We're gonna create the environment where da 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 da, and then we're gonna pull the string. They pull the string. I'm still here. I said, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. Can't pop the cord and I go down the drain. Your people can do that, but I'm not going for it because I'm not dependent on you. You're not a good team chooser. You can't choose the right team. No, no, no. I'm telling you. And it's just sad when it's so historical. Goodness gracious alive. I told the FBI over 10 years ago, whatever, and I was telling them, I said, well, you don't know what comes across our desks. I said, do you guys read any history books? Do you read any? That's what I told the feds down there. I went and visited their offices down on 4th Street. All other city offices down here, the FBI officer. So I was sitting there waiting to see the couple of feds, and I looked up. It's sitting in the back of me. It was the martyrs wall, FBI martyrs. You believe in martyrdom? And I said, yeah. I said, y'all do too. Hell, I was just sitting down there. You see the wall? I was sitting down there. Yeah, it's okay for you to have martyrs, and it ain't for us. We can't have no martyrs. You can have martyrs. People died for what you live for, what you talk about. We can't do that. I said, no, sorry. Do they want to talk now? Absolutely not. That was several years ago, and everything we done told them, it would be spinning around in their head, and they would be, anyway, let me speed up. Childlike behavior, What we're working toward is, you know, the way they tell stories around campfires. If anybody ever went to camp, like years ago, they'd had a campfires and they would be telling stories. That's the kind of group that we want to be. Well, we're already that. But when they talking about what the stuff we did, the stuff we do, what As-Sabiqun means, they're telling a story like about Bigfoot or something like that. You know what I mean, right? It's just unbelievable, but it'll be true. And if we're still alive and they come, we come sit there in a wheelchair, they say, well, you're just human. Sure, just a regular old human, that's all. But that stuff really, sure it happened.